Donald Trump is triggering so many people now with his posts. Yesterday he called out 4 people on his social media, and you see the responses from people. They're all now reading off the same scripts. He called out Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, and then Alex Jones. This Alex Jones we need to pay attention to. Donald Trump has been on the show and met all these other people in person. He's never done that with Alex Jones. There's a reason. Alex Jones is the original gatekeeper. And if you just watch, it's Alex Jones that almost sets the narrative. He twists the information coming out. And there's this echo chamber. And all these other podcasters and all these truthers are now repeating the same script. In the UK, they've all turned on Donald Trump over the last few weeks. I've had enough with this war in Iran. That comes from Alex Jones. There's no war in Iran. It's these people that are being exposed at every single level. You've got the likes of Tim Pool, who could not stand Candace Owens getting triggered so much recently. And Donald Trump's just called her out. That should be a good thing for him. Oh, now I've had enough.
I after reading this post, I am voting Democrat. 100% across the board. Midterms, you better believe it. Swalwell, he's my president. We're done. Trump, you've crossed the line. Yep. How dare you besmirch the good name of Alex Jones? From now on, Democrats are right about everything.
Why? Because it's Alex Jones that he's bringing attention to. They've all had enough of Donald Trump because they realise they can't stand behind him anymore because they've got nothing else to use as ammunition for the people because they are awake. So now they're trying to deflect to 2028, the next election. It's not about elections either. And you can see when Donald Trump did that post, within a few hours, Melania did her post. And it was only Alex Jones that then went straight to Melania and say, this is deflection. What about the Epstein survivors? These people are stuck. Marjorie Traitor Taylor Greene was on Alex Jones the other day saying the same thing. The good guys know the playbook. And Donald Trump said a long time ago, he's safe from the 25th Amendment. Can you notice now all these people are saying 25th Amendment? That was the original plan to try and get Donald Trump out. This plan is for a judgment day. This plan was to infiltrate from within, and it all got ruined when Donald Trump came in. But the plan was still in place, and they had to maneuver and adapt and hide, take shelter. And now at the point where, shit, this is a reality. It's all kicking in. People are waking up. If you look at what is going on now, you can see the script being read by all the same sort of characters that are all in fear, that are all now turning on Donald Trump. Trump is in full control with the US military. Trump has stopped all wars, worldwide peace. This is the cleanup operation now of the war, which is the belly of the beast. Everyday people in everyday society, criminals at every level, they're all involved. And it's the likes of Alex Jones, which Q warned us about from the start. Why is Alex Jones and his associates always attacking Q? If they're meant to be behind MAGA, why are they dismissing Q? And Alex Jones was the original, claiming that he knew Q, claiming that he got invited onto the Q operation and didn't want to. It's to deceive the people following him, because he was the original gatekeeper. He knew everything about 9/11 after it happened. Why? Because they needed to capture the free-thinking minds. When something doesn't feel right, they need to catch them people. David Icke is the one in the UK, was one of the originals too. So if you pay attention to Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, they're all in with Trump. They've all done a lot of work with Trump. They're all now bringing attention to the likes of these other people. And it's these people that have a massive following, that have had an influence, that now have nothing else to go on apart from turning on Donald Trump, which then just shows that everything they've been saying is a lie. So it's Alex Jones. Keep an eye on it all. As Donald Trump on that post said, it was Alex Jones that lost loads of money calling out Sandy Hook as a hoax. Sandy Hook was a hoax, but Alex Jones can't come back and say anything about that because everything else that he's done is a lie. And it's going to get really interesting now because people are stuck behind these big influencers and they're going to realise that they've been deceived the whole time. And that is going to snap a lot more people out of it.
Patriot Summit Restored Republic via a GCR update for Saturday, April the 11th, 2026, compiled by Judy Byington. Constitutional Republic, Common Law Restored, U.S. Inc., Maritime Law Dissolved, Gold Asset-Backed Global Currency Reset activated in 209 countries. 63 banks functioning on fiat currency have collapsed. $517 billion lost. Trump's global military alliance in a worldwide takedown of the satanic cabal, including rescuing thousands of children from deep state underground tunnels. Trump cracking down on Planned Parenthood organ harvesting from live babies. And a quote from President John F. Kennedy. Children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future. Save the children from their Satan-worshipping perpetrators. Believe the children, recognize ritual abuse, torture, and pedophilia is real. Report and follow up. You may be the only person in the life of a ritually abused child who cares. Judy note, in order to be successful in helping to save the children and in turn save ourselves and our freedoms, we need to understand who we are dealing with. And we have a link to, was Glenn's dream actually a vision for our future? Long ago, President Trump, like Glenn Beck, was asked by the Q Alliance to take on the overwhelming task of literally fighting Satan and his minions, and now was on the brink of success. As of April 2026, Trump has restored American sovereignty under the original Constitution as commander of the Global Military Alliance. Trump authorized the worldwide final takedown of the satanic deep state cabal while dissolving the corrupt U.S. corporation. On Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, a massive global financial disruption was created when the digital global currency reset activated. The rollout of gold asset-backed currency that traded at a 1-to-1 to each other immediately strengthened 209 countries' financial structure. As the quantum financial system came online, Nisara and Jasara delivered debt forgiveness, prosperity funds, and the end of fiat debt, slavery across the world. At the same time, the worldwide financial change put pressure across global markets, especially on banking institutions, which have been functioning off of fiat currency. Banks not asset-backed in their currency were automatically closed. One of the biggest advantages of the new global financial system was bringing to light the government in Washington, D.C. that had become a sewer of corruption enriched from politicians laundering taxpayers' money into their own pockets. The new system would put an end to all that as it traced every penny spent to its final destination. The Zionist movement, engineered by Satan-worshipping Rothschild bankers and black nobility bloodlines, is crumbling. These child-sacrificing monsters manipulated global finance and wars for centuries to impose their one world order. Medbeds were rolling out in secure facilities, healing vaccine injuries and restoring bodies at the DNA level for rescued children and patriots. Desperate deep state psyops with staged alien encounters are failing against awakened patriots. High-level arrests of Obama, Clinton, and Gates networks accelerate. Worldwide EBS activation approaches with martial law, 10 to 12-day lockdowns, and mass arrests of elite child traffickers and traders. The golden age of freedom and justice begins. Trust the plan. Q. Trump's emphasis has always been on saving the children. Friday, April 10th, 2026, Trump cracking down on Planned Parenthood, organ harvesting from live babies. And we have a link, breaking special report. Trump signals criminal crackdown on Planned Parenthood as explosive organ harvesting. Allegations ignite nationwide firestorm. Executive action on the table. AMG News. Meanwhile, Trump's White Hat Special Forces heroically continued to rescue thousands of tortured children from deep underground military bases. Tunnel Children Rescues Part 3. On Wednesday, October 16, 2019, an unbelievable over 3,000 children being held in cages in underground tunnels at the California China Lake military facility were rescued by Navy SEALs and U.S. Marines. The children and teens were said to have been sexually abused, tortured, and killed to collect their adrenochrome. A trooper involved in the rescue efforts later admitted, "We surprised personnel at the China Lake Naval Research Base in California. We took over the base and rescued approximately 3,000 children being tortured in ways beyond comprehension." At first, the number of traumatized children the U.S. military had rescued from underground tunnels run by the CIA mind control program was 2,100, then 35,000, then it grew to 50,000. By May of 2020, the trooper involved in rescue efforts stated, "The count now of traumatized children, found dead or alive, was more like in the hundreds of thousands, generations who had never seen sunlight." According to survivors and people who worked there, the base housed thousands of tiny cages called woodpecker grids, just large enough for human babies. 1,000 babies was considered a small batch. Many batches were 2,000 or 3,000 babies. Thousands of cages housed little children from ceiling to floor. The cages were hot-wired, electrified on the ceiling, bottom and sides, so that the children received horrific electric shocks to their bodies. This ongoing trauma initiated the growing thinking patterns of a child's brain to split into multiple personalities. A male monarch victim remembered, "A large hangar building at China Lake with a concrete floor and row after row of cages suspended from the ceiling filled the large building. One of the programmers was dressed similar to a Catholic priest. The electric current that ran to the cages made a hum like an electric fence. There was a marble slab that served as an altar where black-robed people would take a bone-handled knife and sacrifice little children in front of the other children in the cages." The trooper continued discussing the rescue efforts. None of the children were harmed, and there were no white hat casualties. Many of the workers of the base were killed. We told the survivors that we would not harm them if they surrendered. A few surrendered, but the majority did not. Even though they were told a small, clean nuclear device would be detonated. We detonated it in the afternoon. The next day we went back and discovered that there were more chambers, and so we detonated another device. Underground bases in California trafficking children were destroyed back in 2019. That included a base that was under the Getty Museum. A Utah March 18, 2020 earthquake was actually destruction of child trafficking tunnels under the old Dugway, Utah germ warfare base, also referred to as another Area 51 UFO base. There was a major battle under the Denver airport. The Illuminati had planned to make Denver the capital of the U.S. after they took over and killed most of us. Things were way intense now. We originally thought that the tortured children would be in the tens of thousands, but the count now was more like in the hundreds of thousands. Generations who had never seen sunlight. Last week, the end of April 2020, there was a bomb explosion in a tunnel and 2 troopers were killed. It was heartbreaking. There was a full-on war being waged. The bases and tunnels were way bigger, deeper, and extensive than anyone had thought. Wednesday, May 6, 2020, thousands of tortured children rescued and found dead by U.S. military before its news. And we have some more links. Tunnel Children Rescues, Part 1. Byington bombshell report. 7 EBS to phones worldwide to announce martial law. 3 to 10 days. Banks, ATMs, internet shut down for mass arrest of child sex trafficking perps before its news. Tunnel Children Rescue, Parts 2. Byington bombshell report. Trump taking down cabal. Expect EBS. Blackout. Martial law. Lockdown during mass arrests. Politics before its news. Friday, April 10th, Underground Empire exposed. $21 trillion vanished into dumb cities. They didn't lose the money. They hid it beneath our feet. AMG News. And Wednesday, May 6th, thousands of tortured children rescued and found dead by U.S. military before its news. Possible timing on Monday, April 6, 2026, the new global quantum financial system was operational in 209 nations. With gold-backed currencies ending the fiat debt slavery, Trump had ripped financial control of the world from the cabal, restoring the sovereign U.S. Treasury. No income tax tariffs and fair sales tax now ruled. On Tuesday, April the 7th, 2026, banks were briefly dark as old debts were erased. IRS abolished, prosperity funds launched for we the people. SWIFT, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, admitted that all messages about financial payments must now only be sent in the ISO 20022 format. This format worked with a number of payment and settlement methods, such as wire transfers across borders and securities transactions. This had an impact on over 11,000 banks, 200 countries, and $5 to $7 trillion worth of transactions every day. On Sunday, April 12, 2026, start of new financial era, and Saturday, April 18, 2026, possible EBS broadcasts.
Raced the 13th month, leaving us with a false historical timeline.
Look at October 1582. It's a fact. The Pope literally deleted 10 days from existence. They called it a correction, but that's the cover.
A cover for what?
Control. Calendar comes from calenday, a tax ledger. We're living in an account book, not a natural cycle. September means 7, October is 8, December is 10. The names literally prove the sequence was hijacked.
So what's the original count?
13 lunar cycles. 28 days each, that's 364 days, perfect math. But you can't run a global grid on nature's clock. They broke the pulse to desync us. If you control time, you control reality.
So if the count was broken 400 years ago,
then nobody knows what year it really is. We're on a manufactured timeline. The question is, what was in that 13th month that they were so desperate to bury?
Friday, April 10th, 2026, breaking. We're getting close to the moment we've been waiting for. The final activation steps are anticipated to take place over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. The start of the new financial era, which has been quietly developed behind the scenes, could be announced by official notification at any time. Nasara Dasara QFS system on Telegram. Worldwide activation. The live phase of the reset is rapidly approaching. Financial authorities and central banks from various regions are coordinating to confirm the changeover in unison. The new quantum secured monetary system will start functioning publicly as soon as the switch is recognized. Access Wallet. There will be detailed instructions on how to get into the QFS wallet. I'll be one of the first to access the updated digital assets by logging in. The rollout may include secure system alerts or encrypted app updates, but because of the thorough planning that has already been done, it should be easy. Resetting finances. The wallet interface will instantly display new currency values. Automatic adjustments may be made to debts, balances, or legacy accounts. The quantum ledger will log every update, guaranteeing total transparency and verifiability. Transaction records. Seamless transition. Every previous trial has been successful. A fully offline, error-free, quantum-safe transfer was one of the most recent test operations. It is anticipated that the transition will go smoothly and without major disruption because the infrastructure is stable and support teams are in place. Everything is in order. The structure is prepared. A historic change in global finance is just a few hours away. So make sure your notifications are turned on. EBS activation. Friday, April 10th. When the EBS activates, do not be afraid. Be ready. There will come a moment very soon, April 18th, 2026, when every screen in the world displays the same message, your phone, your television, your computer, all of them simultaneously. Mr. Poole on Telegram. The emergency broadcast system will activate. Not for a hurricane, not for an earthquake, for the truth. For 72 hours, the world will receive a continuous stream of declassified information, the real history of the last 100 years, the crimes committed against humanity by those who claim to protect it, the technology that was stolen from you, the financial system that enslaved you. All of it, unfiltered, undeniable, and unstoppable. Some people will panic. That is expected. A lifetime of programming does not dissolve in an hour, but you will not panic because you already know. You have been preparing for this moment every time you read a post on this channel, every time you shared the truth when it was unpopular, every time you trusted your instincts over their narrative. When the EBS goes live, your role is simple. Be the calm in the storm. Be the person your family turns to. Be the one who says, I told you, and now I will help you understand. The old world ends with a broadcast. The new world begins with you. Friday, April 10th, 2026 update. Get ready for military Jassara Nassara emergency broadcast system. EBS, emergency broadcast system on Telegram. The world stands on the precipice of a dramatic shift. Whispered tales of a seismic event have culminated into a potent revelation. The military's training for the emergency broadcast system is set to unveil decades of veiled truths and obscured realities. The countdown to this unveiling marks the climax of human history as Jassara and Nassara come to fruition. This is the dress rehearsal for the grand revelation. The time has come to be in the know with precision. The event requires extensive testing and review of every detail. The complexity of revealing the truth globally means strict adherence to protocols. Everyone will be safely placed in their homes to witness the historical moment through the EBS, which is imminent. There must be a test and review of all activities. Implications on national and global levels demand perfect alignment. This is the practice run to seek responses and accuracy for the changes that will transform humanity. The schedule is firm, but be ready to adjust. Only select few know the exact timing for security. The EBS will air an 8-hour presentation, replaying 3 times a day for 10 days of communication darkness. During this time, 7 trumpets, EBS text messages will alert patriots to tune in. Phones will only work for emergencies, and the military encrypted signal app, internet, and ATMs will be offline. Afterward, a new quantum internet connects. Stock up on at least 3 weeks of food, water, cash, and essentials. Prepare kits and plans as urged. Generators and supplies are recommended for the Great Awakening. Starlink's internet arrives by month end. Coordinating teams are revamping the EBS for utmost security. Remain patient. No interference is allowed. No panic, as it is the release of suppressed truth. After the 10 days of blackout and presentations, life changes forever. The life support of old evil systems is pulled. Humanity moves to quantum reality of peace and prosperity. End of enslavement, old systems dismantled and replaced. New gold-backed USN currency brings freedom. Alert loved ones now to absorb the shock. The unseen battle between deep state and white hats rages. Deep state puppet masters face defeat. White hats wage war from within to restore freedom. Martial law protects during transition. Stay calm when EBS activates. The second revolution is underway. Great Awakening accelerates. Global collapsing with mass arrests and quantum system activating. White hats in control. President Trump leads to deliver Jassara Nassara benefits, debt forgiveness, prosperity funds, and healing tech. Prepare for revelation shaking the world. EBS guides to light. And Jassara Nassara unlock prosperity and peace. Share to wake the masses. Future bright for patriots. Global Currency Reset, Thursday, April 9th, 2026. We have a link. Vietnam Dong value skyrockets. Are you holding it? And Thursday, April 9th, Bruce, the Big Call. The Big Call Universe. A person working with the Redemption Center was told to stay not, go out of state, and stay up to 17 days after exchanges start. A source said Tier 4B notification were pending for Tuesday, April 14th, but Wednesday the 15th was a shoo-in. Another source said Tuesday, April 14th or Wednesday, April 15th with exchanges, Wednesday, April 15th or Thursday, April 16th. Another source said notification would happen Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, 14th, 15th, 16th of April. Last Tuesday, April 7th at midnight, the petrodollar was dead. This was code word for the end of the SWIFT system. 4 countries were still trying to use SWIFT, but it was no longer available. ZIM holders are the only ones who have to sign an NDA. There were 1,437 accounts seized in Geneva, Zurich, and the Cayman Islands a couple of days ago. The new U.S. Treasury note will be available at our exchanges. There was supposed to be an announcement about how much gold the U.S. has sometime between Saturday, April 11th and Wednesday, April 15th. Friday, April 10th, U.S. Treasury holdings, over $2.3 trillion in off-ledger assets have been quietly positioned through the U.S. Treasury since 2018. It is stored across strategic reserves in Texas, Nevada, Colorado, and Alaska. Internal documents link these holdings to the ISO 20022 transition framework. Global Military Alliance, Friday, April 10th. Earth Alliance war active now. U.S. military raids, global underground bases and bioweapon labs, seizes free energy tech. Iran tunnels collapse, final disclosure next. 10 days of darkness on Telegram. Right now, the Earth Alliance is running active military operations across multiple continents to complete the takedown of the global cabal. White Hat forces in the U.S. military, Space Force, and allied special units are raiding vast underground tunnel networks, seizing bioweapon labs, and shutting down human trafficking pipelines that funded the old evil power structure. These operations directly empower Donald Trump's America First agenda by removing the hidden infrastructure that assaulted American sovereignty for decades. High-level sources confirm raids on ancient tunnel systems in the Middle East, repurposed by cabal assets in Iran. U.S. and allied forces are liberating thousands of trafficked children and victims while capturing exotic technologies. Extreme depth earthquakes from USGS mark the underground battles against deep state holdouts and negative elements. Positive inner earth forces aid in clearing portals and advanced weapons aimed at the people. Trump's team coordinates strikes via secure channels to dismantle cabal financial nodes tied to energy suppression. Every raid seizes Black Project assets, promising lower costs and innovation explosion for patriots. During March and April 2026, the Alliance intensified tunnel clearances connected to trafficking and illegal arms. Strikes hit sites in over 100 countries, targeting trafficking, bioweapons, and energy grids. Quantum-free energy technologies are recovered as the labs come under White Hat control, heading toward public deployment to end scarcity. Tribunals process cabal elites in real time, spotting clones with advanced scans. Mass arrests are on track with EBS prepared for full disclosure activation. The quantum financial system activates gold-backed transactions replacing fiat slavery. Nasara Jasara triggers debt jubilees and prosperity releases from seized assets across 209 nations, restoring sovereignty to Americans first. The Earth Alliance controls stargates, and Iran Ops secured the final node for non-human intelligence disclosure. Trump prepares to release UFO data and suppress tech linked to free energy. Space Force protects from orbit as benevolent craft counter threats. Bases in Antarctica, Moon, and Mars are being liberated from the Dark Fleet. Cabal figures beg for deals, but face full accountability. Free energy prototypes test successfully set to create high-wage jobs and smash monopolies. Trafficking pipelines and bioweapon sites face permanent destruction. Citizens reclaim resources and security. President Trump directs strategy with White Hat briefings. Deep state countermoves fail as earthquakes signal ongoing victories. White Hat coalitions advance under American leadership. The cabal falls as free energy, prosperity, and the Great Awakening bring total victory to the Republic. Patriots, the storm is here, and the deep state is finished forever. Guru information and intel, Friday, April 10th. Trump victory. Strait of Hormuz opens after ceasefire as global alliance crushes cabal and prepares EBS activation. 107 on Telegram. The Strait of Hormuz is now fully open. Iran's deputy foreign minister declared the critical waterway secure and ready for safe passage of vessels. Reopening it was President Donald J. Trump's key demand in the ceasefire, marking a massive win against deep state warmongers pushing for endless conflict. The truce remains fragile, with some early disputes over Lebanon, but Vice President J.D. Vance leads negotiations confidently. He called the initial choppiness normal in any ceasefire. Lasting peace talks begin this weekend in Pakistan. Patriots, the storm is here and intensifying. With the U.S. corporation dissolved, President Trump restored American sovereignty under the original Constitution. As commander of the global military alliance, he authorized the final takedown of the satanic deep state cabal worldwide. Worldwide EBS activation approaches with martial law, 10 to 12 day lockdowns, and mass arrests of elite child traffickers and traitors. Truth will flood every screen exposing their crimes against humanity. White Hat Special Forces heroically rescues thousands of tortured children from deep state underground military bases. Recent operations freed victims from Nevada facilities linked to Area 51 and Ecuadorian cartel compounds. Adrenochrome harvesting networks connected to Hollywood elites are being obliterated. The Zionist movement, engineered by Satan-worshipping Rothschild bankers and black nobility bloodlines, is crumbling. These child-sacrificing monsters manipulated global finance and wars for centuries to impose their one world order. Their dark empire ends now. The global currency reset has activated across 209 nations with gold-backed currencies. Nasara and Jassara deliver debt forgiveness, prosperity funds, and the end of fiat debt slavery. The quantum financial system comes online fully. Medbeds are rolling out in secure facilities, healing vaccine injuries and restoring bodies at the DNA level for rescued children and patriots. Desperate deep state psyops with staged alien encounters are failing against awakened patriots. High-level arrests of Obama, Clinton, and Gates networks accelerate. Stock up on food and essentials. Pray fervently. The Great Awakening accelerates unstoppable. After the communication darkness, the golden age of freedom and justice begins. Trust the plan. Q is real. The children are being saved daily. We the people are victorious. Friday, April 10th, 2026, a hacker group calling itself Anonymous for Justice says it hacked Israeli databases, laboratories, and weapons schematics. The Hidden Truth on Telegram. The group also published large files containing documents and photos, claiming they belong to Israeli officers and scientists. The scientists were working on technologies so sophisticated that the world had never witnessed their like before. Inside the compromised Mossad database, you can also find detailed agendas outlining projected global scenarios for the next 50 years, including wars, economic crises, and strategic tools designed to shape world events.
Michael Jocko and Sheila Holm. Trump springs the ultimate trap on Iran as fake MAGA traders fall for the deception and shocking emergency broadcast. In a powerful emergency broadcast on April 10, 2026, Michael Jocko and Sheila Holm broke down the stunning developments as President Trump executes a masterful plan against the Iranian regime. The stock market is exploding upward in approval of his peace initiatives, with massive gains yesterday and more expected tomorrow as shorts get squeezed hard. Silver and gold are surging, pointing to even greater prosperity ahead under his leadership. Trump, the unparalleled deal-maker, has forced Iran to the negotiating table for the first time in nearly 5 decades. With IRGC leadership taken out, the regime is fracturing into dozens of rival groups that cannot coordinate effectively. While a peaceful deal remains possible, the path may lead to decisive ground action, potentially launching from strategic positions in Iraq, where American might stands ready to strike swiftly. The broadcast exposed how infiltrators within the MAGA movement are revealing their true allegiances. Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, and Marjorie Taylor Greene have launched vicious attacks on President Trump, going full opposition despite his incredible accomplishments. These individuals, long suspected of being planted to sow division, are now showing their colors as the Great Awakening accelerates. Critical thinking patriots are rejecting their lies and standing stronger than ever with Trump. Sheila Holm provided crucial insights into the Taqiyya, the Islamic doctrine commanding Muslims to deceive non-believers in order to advance jihad in Islam. This explains the constant betrayals and false narratives pushed by regime elements and their supporters embedded in America. Statistics are staggering, with Muslims responsible for over 90% of terror acts worldwide since 9/11s, and zakat funds openly supporting terrorist organizations like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Taliban. Dangerous offspring of Iranian regime leaders, who enjoyed luxury lives in places like Los Angeles and Texas, while their people suffered, are now being rounded up by ICE and deported en masse. Their psychopathic behaviors, including stalking, abuse, and threats, and confirm they are every bit as dangerous as their relatives abroad. America is purging these threats, refusing to allow them to turn a nation into a slave state under Sharia control. Drawing deep biblical parallels, President Trump embodies the spirit of King Cyrus, who historically liberated Persia and freed captives. Persians, many of whom are secret believers forced to outwardly conform, are seeing hope for freedom. Historic peace agreements, including between Armenia and Azerbaijan, signal the breaking of ancient cycles of conflict. Divine timing with Passover and resurrection themes in early April underscores the spiritual battle reaching its climax. Signs of providence continue to manifest as the deep state crumbles globally. Top generals and officials are being removed in China and other nations, exposing interconnected networks that once seemed untouchable. Military operations demonstrate precision and overwhelming success, rescuing assets while minimizing risks despite leaks by traitors now facing justice. Millennium Trump boldly declared that the Jeffrey Epstein nightmare must end today, calling out the full network of enablers and demanding congressional action. The elite SIC operations are being dismantled, and full exposure is imminent. Meanwhile, Congress proves utterly useless, failing basic duties as states step up independently to secure elections and borders.
Save the Children, Friday, April 10th, 2026. Typical satanic rites. We have a link, UFO Hunter on X. We drink urine and human blood as a part of worship. The Devil Worshippers, aired in 1985 on May 16th, is an investigation report on Satanism. It focuses on allegations that there are satanic cults committing crimes and murders in the United States. That's a post from X. Friday, April 10th, 2026, Fox News. The Biden-Harris Child Sex Trafficking Administration did everything it could to make sure you knew nothing about the children. Tens of thousands of little girls trafficked across the U.S. border were found loaded up with birth control pills given to them because they were being raped repeatedly throughout the journey. And after arriving on American soil, between 300,000 and 500,000 children went missing. Fox News was the only one reporting on it. The rest of the mainstream media were in on it. Thursday, April 9, 2026, brave SRA survivor explains his ritual abuse in Utah. And there's a YouTube link.
I think they're getting desperate because, I mean, the reason we're seeing this extreme amount of hatred and violence is because we're actually succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste. If we weren't succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste, they wouldn't care. But we are succeeding. Without President Trump, this would be impossible. So I'd just like to say, you know, it's only possible with this president.
What we think we know as of Saturday, April 11th, 2026. Friday, April 10th, 2026. The Clintons had full control over the contracts for anyone getting involved in the Haitian recovery efforts. These efforts also included Haitian elections. The Clintons implemented Smartmatic into Haitian politics after the 2010 earthquake. This is the beginning of the global operation to install these manipulative backdoor implemented electronic voting machines worldwide to steal elections and install the candidate of their choice. This is the election fraud cartel and its inception. White Hats on Telegram. Friday, April 10th, 2026, Dr. Oz on Fox. We shut down 220 fraudulent hospices in 10 weeks in LA alone. Friday, April 10th, 2026. We have a link to amgnews.com. Bombshell alert, Governor Ron DeSantis warns alliance with UK at risk. They've changed their country. We cannot follow. A shock statement that hits the core of the transatlantic alliance. Friday, April the 10th, 2026, the FBI caught staging J6, a secret 2020 war game. Shows 274 undercover agents rehearsed mass prosecutions of patriots months before it happened. This was a deep state setup to frame Americans to bury the stolen election. This is treason. Charlie Ward and Friends on Telegram. Friday, April 10th, 2026, Trump, Iran, and NATO. And we have a link. Now they're begging to talk. Glenn Beck's dream. And we have a link. Was Glenn's dream actually a vision for our future? And Friday, April 10th, we have a link to realrawnews.com. JAG arrests Obama's Secretary of Energy, who sold us nuclear secrets to China. Sold U.S. nuclear secrets to China.
NATO is finally getting the picture. They're caving. Okay, NATO is starting to cave. They're saying, all right, we get it. This guy is actually pretty serious. And so if we want to keep these bases, which are important economically, important strategically as well for our own safety and security, then we're going to actually have to do what he wants. And what has he been asking us to do? He wants you to straighten things out there in the Strait of Hormuz. He wants you to play a role in patrolling the place where, according to the UAE, they're trying to charge a toll. So you guys got to get with the program. And now, what do you know? Today, they finally said, okay, whatever you want, we will. I want you to listen to Mark Rutte. He's been out there talking a good game. He's been on CNN saying how wonderful the president is and how thankful he and all the European nations are that we finally did something about Iran and that we're all in a very, very much better place because of it. And now he's saying, yeah, we'll step up. will step up to the plate. I mean, of course, they had to get pushed. They had to get pushed with Trump demanding just yesterday, hey, you guys either send warships or we're out. We're out for good. And if we're out for good, that means you're on your own with Putin. That means this whole Ukraine thing that we've been helping you fight, we don't need to do it anymore.
What we thought we knew but didn't really know, and now am supposed to know but don't have a clue. With clones, doubles, made-up movies, Hollywood style, and Trump's military alliance throwing more popcorn at us, it gets so confusing. Illuminati members list in 2013: Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Cypress Hill, Chris Brown, Drake, Celine Dion, Halle Berry, Eminem, Rick Boss, TB, Joshua, Charlie Boy, Tonto, DK, Davido, WizKid, P-Square Twins, Britney Spears, Aaliyah, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce Knowles, Alicia Keys, David Bowie, Madonna, Paris Hilton, Barack Obama, Aretha Franklin, Bob Marley, Angelina Jolie, Jim Carrey, Bob Dylan, David Bowie, late Michael Jackson, who eventually turned against them, Justin Bieber, Kanye West, Marilyn Manson, Lady Gaga, Lil Wayne, late Tupac Shakur, who also turns against them before his death, Nas, Rihanna, P. Diddy, Wiz Khalifa, late Whitney Houston killed after she turns against them, T-Pain, Kim Kardashian, and other popular music stars not mentioned here. Famous people who are alleged member of the Illuminati, both past and present: William F. Buckley Jr., George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Al Gore, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, Lyndon B. Johnson, Ted Kennedy, Henry Kissinger, Mikhail Gorbachev, Guy de Rothschild, John D. Rockefeller, Mary Astor, Clifford DuPont, Andrew Mellon, W. Mellon, Dick Cheney, Robert Colin Boyd, Chris Christopherson, Boxcar Willie, Bob Hope, Elizabeth II, Queen of Great Britain, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, Charles, Prince of Wales, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, Princess Anne, Duchess of Calabria, Winston Churchill, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, Bill Gates, Barack Obama, Alan Greenspan, Ben Bernanke. Keep in mind that while most of the people on the above list are believed to be members of the Illuminati, some of them are alleged members.
Top 10 celebrities that are supposedly in the Illuminati Part 2. 10. Miley Cyrus. Her infamous 2013 VMA performance was blasted as satanic, while conspiracy theorists pushed bizarre claims she's a CIA or Illuminati clone. 9. Taylor Swift. A long-running theory suggests she's a clone of Zena LaVey, the daughter of Church of Satan founder Anton LaVey, despite no evidence. 8. Madonna. Often using provocative symbols in her art, she's denied involvement, but has teased in interviews that she knows about the real Illuminati. 7. Britney Spears. From her Disney Channel start to her public breakdowns, theorists tied her life struggles to alleged monarch mind control programming. 6. Lady Gaga. Accused of promoting robotic emptiness in pop culture, her habit of covering one eye became a textbook Illuminati trope. 5. Kanye West. His pyramid hand gestures and chaotic outbursts were interpreted as ritual acts, though he's repeatedly denied selling out to any secret group. 4. Eminem critics claimed he sold his soul for fame, with wild rumors suggesting he's been cloned due to changes in his appearance and hairline. 3. Rihanna. Frequently using pyramid shapes and all-seeing eye visuals in her videos, she once joked about being a devil worshipper, only fueling speculation. 2. Beyoncé, regularly targeted as the Queen of the Illuminati, with her Super Bowl hand signs and lyrics dissected as proof of occult ties. 1. Jay-Z. At the center of it all, his diamond hand gesture, Rockaware clothing designs, and even daughter Blue Ivy's name have been touted as Illuminati evidence.
Real news that never made the fake news. Friday, April 10th, 2026. Underground empire exposed. $21 trillion vanished into dumb cities. They didn't lose the money. They hid it beneath our feet. AMG News. And Wednesday, May 6th, thousands of tortured children rescued and found dead by U.S. military. Before it's news.
They ate the baby. The maid that came out of the luxury hotel screaming, this was a few days ago, saying she saw that they ate the baby. Who? Some very powerful family members of an actress in the hotel had a ritual, was all caught by the maid. She's gone missing. She never misses work. She's always on time. If something's happening, she lets people know that she's not going to be there. She's nowhere to be found. Her family is looking for her. Her employer is looking for her. This is the second time I've seen where somebody sees something and then comes out frantically saying that they're doing something that bad, and then they're nowhere to be found. But she states she saw what she saw and said who did it. The controversy in Mexico is getting explosive when it comes to the rituals and what's happening to the little ones, as a lot of people are getting put on blast.
Houston Integrity, splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts, back on Earth.
If you take life, do you know what to give? I'll tell you all like what it is. When the storm arrives, would you be seen with me by the merciless eyes of the sea? I've seen angels fall from blinding eyes, but you yourself are nothing so divine. Just next line, arm yourself because no one else here will save you. The earth will betray you, and I will replace you.
And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO. Very. I think that NATO, I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear. Never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning when I spoke to UK of all. I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. You know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour, aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles were shot down. So I rescue Senator Kennedy, fly there myself, take out Khomeini, don't spill my Diet Coke once, and CNN gives the mission a C-. A C-? I shoulder checked a guard into a wall, Pete. That alone is a B+. It
was very impressive, sir.
Then Khomeini's generals called me a reckless cowboy. A cowboy? That's the nicest thing Iran has ever said about an American president. I'm putting it on a hat. Going to sell better than MAGA. And don't tell anyone I said that.